us. That's all good. Let's get into this. Oh. Hello, beautiful people. Welcome to another brilliant episode of the Growth, Health, and Wellness Podcast. I am your host, Jesse the Truth, as well as my co-host,
Tierica.
And I'm bringing back another amazing guest. Y'all already know him, my boy Bravo Fit, man of the Jam Fam. He's putting on, he's getting you right. Man, women, no matter what, whatever your fitness goals is, he is going to provide. He also has a great thing going on with Brianna right now, which is the 21 Days of Fit, which is the HIIT workouts. They're going to get you right in time for the time of spring. So come on, check them out. Join up and let's get it to it.
Oh yeah.
So yesterday we recorded the podcast for like women's health. It's called Goddess Ish. And today we're getting into the man shit. You know what I'm saying? We're getting into that God-ish. So, you know, as we know, that masculine energy, man. Yeah. So today we're talking about emotional healing, understanding, expression, and feeling your emotions as a man. Because we all know as men, when we come up, we're taught to suppress our emotions. You can't cry. You got to toughen out. You got to be a man. And by the time we're like in our 20s and 30s and women are begging us to, hey, open up and do this, man, it's a struggle.
Yeah, man, we got to learn all over again.
Absolutely. So what do you think about that? Like, what's emotional healing for a man?
Man, I would say you got to find out something that you can allow to overwhelm you, but also you can displace it and remove that energy off your back. Like for me, I use the gym. I dealt with a lot of stuff as a kid. I didn't know how to handle my emotions. So I was like, you know what? Pop's not around, anger issues, you know. The chicks weren't feeling me. I felt kind of like, you know, ashamed of myself sometimes. Like, man, I was shy. I was a coward when I was a kid. So I had all these emotions I was dealing with. The gym was my, like, place of refuge to kind of get that energy off of me. I would just think about everything I hated about my life, things I was going through. And I was just like, you know what? Sit there, think about it, soak in it. And then I would get so angry, go in the gym, bang out a monster workout, and I built that confidence for myself as I got older, and I just developed that. And so I deal with a lot of my emotional issues, a lot of my emotional stress as well by going to the gym. Because we have a lot of insecurities as men as well that we don't want to show with our people, absolutely. Especially not our women. We pillow talk sometimes, but you know, a lot of them issues we want to keep held in because we feel like we're weak. You know, and so when you battling with that, not understanding how to be vulnerable as a man, it's a challenge. It's an uphill battle. You know, whether you had a pops that taught you how to deal with what you're going through mentally, and if you didn't, you like kind of took it out with women. You know, we feel women in this void of emptiness that we have on the inside. And so that'll be a place we deal with our stress, emotions, or whatnot by using other people to kind of fill that void. So, but the gym was one I would highly recommend.
No, absolutely. I think that's a problem that we talked about in the last episode as far as like as men we're around a whole bunch of other men dealing with these same issues, and we're taught to like take that out on women in a sense, because like coming up, I know I was around a lot of people who was like, you know what I'm saying, in the music and everything you're listening to, you're taught to put everything over a woman. You're supposed to put your friends over a woman, you're supposed to put money over a woman, you're supposed to put all these things over a woman, and it's just, you know what I'm saying, as we get older, women wondering like, well, man, why are you treating us like this? We came up in a toxic environment that was teaching us to do all this type of stuff. You know what I'm saying? A lot of us didn't have our fathers and stuff like that. A lot of us had fathers that maybe came in and out of our life, but then you seeing and looking at their life, because I know looking at my father's life, like, even though he was with my mother, he was staying with a whole nother woman.
Yeah.
And you know what I'm saying? Seeing that, it's just like, man, like, emotional trauma. That's the anger issues that you're talking about. Like you said, we have a lot of insecurities that we don't like really express, because like you said, we feel weak. We feel like, oh man, we not a man and stuff like that. So we don't know how to like properly channel them. So you know what I'm saying? Definitely doing the gym, getting therapy. Therapy is one I always recommend. Sometimes we need to get down to the root of the problem, and sometimes other things ain't gonna help. But like people end up abusing drugs. You know what I'm saying? Finding other addictive outlets that.
Coping mechanisms.
And them
man.
coping, man.
You know what the crazy thing about that? You say that, you know, we taught like put everything over a woman, but you know everything a man does is for a woman's attention. Bro, always. I did not go to the gym for my health. I am not into fitness. Like I talk about health and wellness, combating obesity for our community. Yes, I love it all. But honestly, the root of me working out, bro, was for a woman's attention. Why do we chase the bag? For a woman's attention. Because why they want security? They want a brother that got some coins, you feel me? So, like, everything a man does is for a woman's attention. You know, I know women that say they don't do nothing for us, but, dog, everything a man does is for a woman's attention. So you would live in a cardboard box if it wasn't for a woman. Straight up.
For sure. You know what I'm saying? I think, man, we real simple when it comes down to it. If we ain't have to, we sure ain't gonna do it. Absolutely. So I know one thing that I was reading about was like it was a study that recently came out and showed that black men are starting to, you know what I'm saying, have an increase in suicide rates. So what would be a word that you would tell to other brothers out there that are struggling with, you know what I'm saying, mentally with like problems and all that, they don't know how to really deal with them and they're thinking about, you know, just ending it all?
Man, I would definitely reach out to anybody out there and say, you know, knowing thyself is so important. A lot of times people make drastic decisions committing suicide because like it's like you feel like you're backed into a corner. There's nothing you can do. Whether it be like dealing with sexuality, feeling like you're a failure, feeling like the pressures of the world, you're dealing with the way that America looks at you, you know, so you have all these things on you, and then you ain't getting, it's like right now there's a battle of man versus woman kind of going on right now. And so brothers don't have that place they could go to a woman sometimes. Can't go to their brothers, they can't go to their family. And they be having like pretty decent lives from the outside looking in. A lot of brothers feel like they don't have that fire on the inside, and so it's like you don't know where to go. So if you don't know where to go, like you have to know thyself, understanding why you think the way you think, understand like why your emotions. I shared something with you I ain't never told nobody before. I had thoughts of suicide before, like years ago, bro. Like when I was like right before college, life was hell. You know, I was poor, you know. I wouldn't say poor, but we went balling, you know.
No, for sure.
But like, you know, like I just was unhappy with life. Like life was like trash. Like, man, then we had the hurricane happen. Like, you know, you got your family homeless. It's like you feel like there's what can you do? And I always thought like, man, but if you commit suicide, I feel like you cheating on life. You cheating on the people who actually believe in you, right? Like why, like to commit suicide is so selfish, you know? Because we are the ones left to deal with the trauma, you know? It's like an escape route. So I highly recommend people to know themselves and actually reach out to other people to be like, you know, do you have these same thoughts? Because a lot of us have similar thoughts, bro. A lot of us go through the same traumas, the same dealings that we go through in life, and it's hard, you know? And we don't want to come off as like we can't handle it, that we too weak to make it out here because everything is out there, man. You got to go out, you got to grind, you got to do this, you got to do that. Everybody just wants you to go, but nobody gives you time to actually think about what's going on with me mentally. How do I feel, you know? Being afraid to express thyself always leads to more trauma because you're holding it in, you know? Get it off your chest. Talk to somebody, you know? Talk to yourself. Honestly, I used to do that a lot. Like, look in the mirror. It's the weirdest thing in the world in the beginning, but look in the mirror, talk to yourself. Like, you know, ask yourself a question. Why did you do that? You know, like how did it make you feel? Like I'll tell you a quick story. Like I have this thing of, I understand why I treated women the way I did. Like, check this out. So when I was a kid, my mother was in town, right? Because I was raised by my grandparents. So my mother was in town. I'm a mama's boy. Like my mama, I just wanted to be around her. So my mama was there, and like we was doing this like a talent show for my grandparents and stuff like that, my aunts and uncles. And so we doing it one night. My mama was about to leave. I don't know why she was leaving, but I knew she was going to do something I didn't want her to do. So I'm looking at her, and I'm on the porch, crying, bawling, bro. And she said to me, like twice, she was like, I'll be right back, right? So I'm like, cool, but I'm going in, I'm frantic, bro. My grandfather comes outside, quit the crying, boy. Like, what you crying for? She coming back. She ain't going to leave. She'll always be back. I learned in my 20s, that moment when my mother left, is why I always believe women would never like leave my life. So if they just like, I just called it would be a break. So I'd be like, you can leave, go do what you want to do, go get in a relationship. I don't care. You'll always be back anyway because women always come back. So I was dealing with the traumas I have of my mother making me feel abandoned. She was just going out. But by me wanting her so bad, and I'm like, well, I got to hold my feelings in. Don't show those emotions. Don't let them know how I'm feeling. If I do miss them, if I don't want to lose them, they don't need to know that. They'll always come back. And that was something I played in my life for years, like decades. Like I learned that when I was 24. And I'm like, bro, I'm 35. You know, so I'm like, wow. I had no idea, like, the reason why I was always cool with women leaving, I didn't have to fight for them because I was like, well, they'll be back. You know, crazy, bro.
For sure.
Childhood traumas. That was a really good observation.
Yeah, so really knowing thyself is so important, so.
No, absolutely, man. I appreciate your vulnerability. You know what I'm saying? A lot of times, like, people, you know, they hold stuff like that in, like just sharing like that you have those type of thoughts. Cause I think that's a thought that a lot of people have, and like, you know what I'm saying, in your head, like at some point in your life, you thought like, man, it'd just be better if I like ended it all.
Yeah.
But like you said, it's a selfish thing. Like I said in the last episode too, like you're not realizing the effect that you having on your family and friends and people who love you after you're gone. And once you know what I'm saying, decide to take that decision, ain't no coming back. Ain't no coming back from it. Ain't no like, even in the midst of it happening, ain't no like, oh, too late. You know what I'm saying? It's already gone. But definitely.
What's wild that you say that. So it's like, I was watching, I don't know if it was Oprah, Dr. Phil, one of them shows. I don't watch them shows, but I'm just saying, I just happen to be seeing it somewhere. But so they was talking about this guy that committed suicide, but he lived. Like, it was suicide going wrong because like he hit the ground. He said most people majority of people, actually all of them, because I haven't seen that one say different. The people that commit suicide and they actually lived, they always regretted it. That's like, man, soon as they did it, they was like, wow, I wish I didn't do this. So just think about everybody that commits suicide, they're like, man, that's that thought like, damn, I wish I wouldn't have did this.
Because it's that emotional impulse. Like, you doing that on emotion, but emotions are temporary. Because once you start going through the emotions and them emotions leave, like, you realize, like, oh, man, I shouldn't have did that.
Exactly,
and
bro.
Just by then, like you said, most of the time, it's too late. You know what I'm saying?
It's too late, bro.
How many people going to hit that ground and just survive to sit there and tell the tale? How many people done shot themselves and, like, somehow the bullet just stopped before it, you know what I'm saying, hit something critical, and it's just like, man.
Yeah, bro, that's crazy. That's
wild.
wild.
I loved how you touched on, like, you know what I'm saying, your root of, like, how you treated women. Because a lot of times, like I said in the last episode too, is like we have stuck points in our life and we just ricochet off of them because we feel like we healed from them.
Yeah.
But in some way or another, like we always come back to them and bounce back off of them. And I think a lot of times, you know what I'm saying, going forward, we don't realize that. So like actually going back and getting into the root of that problem, because I feel like searching through my life, I feel like the reason why I was treating women the way I did when I was younger was because I was observing everything around me. Like as far as like seeing people, you know what I'm saying, having my homeboys, like if you loved on one woman, oh, bro, you weak, bro. You know what I'm saying? You getting played. You pussy whip. You know what I'm saying? And it's just everybody want to, you know what I'm saying, high whips pussy. But you know what I'm saying? It's not like that. And then seeing like how some women like gravitate more towards men who are dogging them and, you know what I'm saying, shunning away like guys who are treating them right. And it's crazy how that role flips when you get older. Yeah. And then now women want you to like, why are you doing me like this? But it's just like, man,
you was looking for this when I was younger. Why you tripping now?
Exactly.
You know
what I'm
cycles
saying?
Of trauma.
And even like having social media like portray all those toxic type of relationships. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like what Future say, you gonna cry in this family, you gonna cry in the Nissan. Which one you gonna pick? Exactly. Most women gonna sit there and say that I'd rather cry in the Phantom. But you know what I'm saying?
Exactly. Then, like, you know, it's like what you going for. But like for guys, bro, like we have a lot of trauma from like we would say women have dad issues. A lot of men got dad issues because the dads weren't there. But we got a lot of mother issues as well. Because honestly, like a lot of, like what I see in a lot of people in this day and age as I've gotten older, I see what life is like. Because when I was a kid, we had mothers that was 30, 35, 36, early 20s. So it's like when I'm seeing it now as an adult, I'm like, bro, like I feel like a lot of men have issues with women because they're mothers, you know, because like, we've seen when you grow up in a single parent home, you see the side of that. That dude's a dog. You know, he a dog, so he treat my mom like this. You don't like it, but you seeing it. But you also like you see the side of that you don't like. Like, okay, well, what if my mom was holding back information from me that will held me back from my pops? You build up resentment. So when you feeling like that, you like now you resent her, but you don't even know it. You don't even know why you resent her. You just feel like this anger towards her sometimes, like, oh, my mom get on my nerves, you know? And so now, then you go out, but you're expressing that, projecting that on the people that you meet out there because, like, you haven't dealt with your issues, you know? And so we have all these childhood traumas, which I call them, this thing I'm writing called Insecurities of a Black Man. It shows, like, how everything that we deal with as an adult stems from the first 10 years of our life. Like, I just use, like, everything I went through, and I'm like, okay, you have knowing thyself, man. You got to know why you make decisions that you make. And, bro, everybody knows why they do what they do. We just don't want to acknowledge it. Because that's why people go get a trainer. They know they're unhealthy. They need to work out and eat better. But you need somebody to tell you. We already know what's killing us, what's hurting us. We know what we do. We know why we do what we do, but we don't want to acknowledge it. So we'll just suppress like, okay, yeah, I know I go out here and I run through women or molest women because you probably was molested as a child. You know, a lot of people ain't dealing with those family issues. Like, oh, I got this issue with my family because maybe you was the one that was getting molested and nobody in the family said anything. You know, we have a lot of issues that nobody want to talk about. We'll cover up all this stuff. Oh, you don't need to be doing that. Oh, you don't need. No, you need to.
Or you had that one uncle or something. Everybody know, like, don't be about him and stuff like that.
Exactly, but nobody's talking about it. So a lot of people have issues with the mother in the family because nobody said anything. You know, nobody. What was my protection at? And I'm supposed to be as a man, just suck it up and deal with it. You know, so it's like a lot of things that a lot of guys are dealing with that they don't want out into the world. It's the time right now to actually start expressing that out and showing like men's mental health is really important, you know, because there's trauma that people going on. And like, bro, it's a lot of shit on people's shoulders. So like you talking about you got to deal with all that and your own personal drama. Like you be like, bro, man, life, I'm done with this shit, you know?
No, absolutely. One thing that you pointed out that I love was, like you said, a lot of our stuff happens in the first 10 years. A lot of times I tell women, like, think about how we talk to young boys. We encourage them to be polygamous or, you know what I'm saying, be a dog because we sit there and tell them, like, oh, how many girlfriends you got? Now, where's your girlfriend at? How many girlfriends you got? Oh, you going to be a little heartbreaker. And we encourage this type of behavior all the way up until they're grown men. And now we want you to do a 180 and flip and like, oh, why you ain't got a girlfriend? Why you got so many, you know what I'm saying? Why you talking to so many women? You was telling me I was a heartbreaker. You asking me where my girlfriends were all the time. So you was encouraging this type of behavior. So everything stems from the way men come up. And that's a full 20 to like almost 30 years of like constantly being told this. Don't cry. Have multiple women. You know what I'm saying? Be tough. You know what I'm saying? Don't show no emotions. And it's just like, why do we suddenly expect men out of nowhere to just change?
Yeah. And also like on that, I think a lot of guys now are starting to see like, man, their own value. Because I think a lot of men, we weren't taught to realize our value. If you think about it, we always focus on like, everything's for women. You know, we got to protect them. We got to uplift them. We got to pour into them, everything. But nobody, I was saying this yesterday because I was really exhausted. I was tired, man. I'm like, bro, I just want to sit down and breathe. I'm exhausted. I've been working a lot. I'm like, man, I'm just tired. I'm really tired. My emotions was down. And I was like, man, you know what? I need to connect my battery up. Who charges me up? I'm pouring into everybody, like family, friends, strangers, clients, everybody. And I'm like, who's my battery charger? Now, normally a man would look for a woman for that because women are supposed to be that nurturing care. I'm a nurture. I love women that nurture and care for me, like rockabye baby me. So it's like, but who's going to be my battery charger, right? And so I have certain things that I do like to kind of get me going, but it makes me want to work even more though. So like to just relax, it's like, do men really have that place that they can relax? And I will say, when dudes see their value, if dudes want to date, I think more guys are being comfortable with why polygamy is getting so popular, only because like dudes are like, man, like, is risking everything worth that one person? Because like, do they even value me? You can pour, give into so much, but it's like there's like, do we always feel like the bar is raising, right? So like, okay, if we raise the bar as well, it's like, okay, check this out. The whole era everybody was on, take me as I am, right? Take me as I am. So that's cool when it's coming from one point of view. So when dudes like, take me as I am, like, I ain't got the bread, I ain't got the whip, we get dogged for it. So we feel less of a man if we're not successful. And so when we become successful, we get treated a certain way because like we don't want to settle down. But it's like, what about what we want? What about, I see my value, and if I don't think this woman is, if I'm vetting women to see like who's valuable for me, it's like, why do I have to settle for anything lesser? You know, it's always like, hey, take me as I am as a woman, but okay, what you got, I don't want. You know, like, hey, I'll use my example because I'm not gonna put other dudes in this, but I'm a dude. I'm into fitness. I'm told I'm being shallow and I'm rude and I'm arrogant because I won't accept a woman who doesn't have the physical body that I desire. So I'm told it's about the person on the inside. But what about what I want? Like nobody's saying like, so I'm a dog. I'm shallow because I want to be turned on by my woman. If a woman who's not fit doesn't turn me on, why does that make me shallow? But if a woman says, hey, I'm unhealthy, you got to take me as I am, society will tell me I should do that because she's a good person. But why? What about what I want? It doesn't care about what I want. So if I feel that attack from everybody that I'm meeting from the opposite sex, I got tension with them now. You know, it's like nobody's thinking about what I want. It's about what everybody else wants. So when men don't feel like their value is being praised or like acknowledged, it's like you're like, well, why do I need to abide by what everybody think I should do? Okay, I'll just have multiple women because why? Then these women may feed me how I need to be fed. You know? Just a different perspective.
No, absolutely. I ain't never really thought about it like that. As a woman, how does that make you feel?
I mean, I understand what he's saying when it comes to the whole, like, people wanting you to take me as I am kind of thing. Like, if you desire a certain type of woman, that you have every right to do that, you know? And everybody has their own opinion, but sometimes I think people need to keep their opinion to themselves, you know? Because I've kind of been in the same predicament. If I have a specific specification of what I want in a dude, then I should be able to get that specific specification regardless of what anybody else says. So I actually agree with everything he was saying.
No, absolutely. Because we've had this discussion with like multiple people before. And we always ask women like, I know we was at P's at her game night, and the conversation came up like, all right, if a woman got everything she desired in a man, but the one thing that was lacking was the penis. He either wasn't good or he wasn't adequate size, but he provided everything else a woman could possibly imagine. He treated you right. He had the money. He took care of everything. He treated you like you were supposed to be. Would you still be with him? And a lot of women be like, nah.
Nope.
Off of one thing.
One little thing. I mean, they got lots of things that can help fix that.
Okay? Hey, no, check this out. But we know, we didn't have, bro. Men have this conversation all the time. I'm going to tell you like this. If the penis was trash, she's going to probably dip. Or she's going to look for that satisfaction elsewhere. No, there's like, you know, people know people that date dudes that ain't packing. These are like, oh, he's the love of my life. Like, he's this great, perfect guy. But they still feel some type of way and don't respect him because why? He ain't putting it down. Now let old boy come through with that schlanger thing and put it down on. She'll do whatever for him. She don't like
regardless of whatever else he got going on.
Women will let more stuff slide because the thing good. Dudes will let a lot of things slide because how attractive a woman is. We ain't taking no smack from no chick that ain't hot. But if she bad, you're like, you know what? Bro, she keyed my car. Ooh, son. You know what? She bad. Something like that. Chicks be like, she will likely stay around if you putting it down. Kind of like
because I mean, hey, even like on social media, it's that whole thing that toxic sex is better. You know
I be seeing that. You got to get angry, and it's so much better. I've seen all of that.
And like I said, a lot of times women are projecting, you know what I'm saying, the same type of things they talk about. They talk down on. Oh, man of this, man of that. But you going to go for the man who's doing you exactly how you complaining about. Exactly. But because he putting it down, you like, okay.
But see, it's got to be more than just that. It's got to be more than just that.
But see, though, like,
there's a few percentage out here, okay?
Yeah, it's certain women who are like,
but the majority, okay.
Yeah. I got the majority. I understand.
So we're going to talk about eating health for men and why that's important, especially when it correlates to that thing.
Okay.
Because a lot of times, you know what I'm saying, men are eating trash, you know what I'm saying, they wondering why they having problems down there, either getting it up or like, you know what I'm saying, they just overall for women taste horrible.
Yeah.
So what do you think man can do to like?
Fellas, I'm going to tell you like this. If you wanna kind of upgrade yourself, go vegan for a while. Why? Because she'll love it too. Key reasons because she'll think you taste better. I've been complimented on that. I'm just saying. But because while you're not putting all that toxic food in your body, all them toxins that you releasing, all this stuff, because your body's going to secrete this, whether through sweat, defecation, urination, or ejaculation. Ooh, that boy got bars. But I was feeling that, but no, you got to think. And if you're having erectile dysfunction issues, you're not getting blood flow. That's all that is. You're not getting blood flow. You need to eat some healthy vegetables. Go eat you some beetroots. You need blood flow going through your body. If you want that thing to be strong, put the
Micah
right
root.
Bruh, hey, the
Are they
red,
work for y'all too?
the black good for men, like, man,
Ashwagandha.
straight up. I'm gonna tell you like this. So I take, because you gotta balance your feminine and masculine energy, right? I take the black maca root, the red, and the regular, like the yellow one, right? So no lie, this is a true story. So I was doing it, and I'm like, I see what the benefits are. So I never took all three of them like in a smoothie, and I did it every day. And I had beets and berries and half an apple. It's a great smoothie, fellas. No lie, I had it every morning for 10 days, bro. By day 6, I was horny all day. When I say horny, bro, bad horny all day. I just oh my God, what was wrong with me? I'm in the gym banging it out. I'm like, bro, if you want to talk about an erection, I'm not gonna get too much of my personal life, but an erection is gonna last, bro, straight up, because like, bro, you will go forever. Because why? Something about that, bro. That maca root.
Yeah, it's all about learning about your health. A lot of times people assert, a lot of men are going for like Viagra and stuff like that. Stuff that's like going through the FDA and all that. And then you're wondering why you're having problems later down the line because you're going for this medication when it's natural things out here that you can take that's going to get you right, that's going to get you lasting longer, harden, all that. You know what I'm saying? Just look for it, take care of your health. Yes. Don't be sitting here on a Doritos and Hennessy diet and then wondering why things ain't going the way you want them to.
Exactly, because like your body's going to take the food that you consume and nourish your body, repair your body. So you need to consume the healthy foods that give you all your minerals, all your macros, your macros and micros, all your nutrients. You need those things in your body to function. Your body can't function because you're going to be using up all your energy because you're filling your body up with fillers. And when you get them fillers, your nails start cracking, your hair start falling out. You probably have your hairline if you ate clean too.
For sure. So another thing that's important that goes with penile health is, you know what I'm saying, overall grooming. So why is it important for man to groom? Because, you know what I'm saying, man sometimes don't be shaving down there. They be causing all types of problems for women because a lot of times women won't have problems if it wasn't for a man, in a sense.
Man, the hair holds bacteria. You got to groom yourself. Clean yourself for sure. For sure, clean yourself. Twice at one time if you can. But you want to do that. But grooming is important. Like, I ain't going to, no BS. Like, you got to trim yourself up even if you want. Now, I ain't saying go get the Brazilian. You can get a Brazilian, but I ain't saying get the butterfly thing that they be doing. Don't do that. The strip thing, don't do that. Nah. But I actually had a Brazilian cuz, like, I didn't do the strip. Don't, no strip. But no lie, it's better. The women appreciate it. You're cleaner, like your man. You're fresher. Cause when you're working out, sweat, playing basketball, but you don't be walking around smelling like that. You gotta trim that hair down. You gotta stay groomed. You want your stuff to look nice, neat package. You want to present her with something that's appealing. You feel me?
Yeah, exactly. And if you don't want to go get a Brazilian or nothing like that, invest in a manscape. You know what I'm saying? Get them trimmers. Don't use the ones that you use for your face.
Yes, please
some
don't,
men
bro.
Are some men are terrible like that. Man, it is some men out here like that.
You gotta have a trimmers and you gotta have the
you gotta have two separate ones.
See, this is why we say man are simple sometimes, and sometimes it could be a bad thing. Yeah. You gotta have two separate ones. One just for strictly down there. You know what I'm saying? Trim yourself up, get you right. Like you said, your whole bacteria. A lot of times women don't get STDs and all that if it wasn't for us. Like what's it called? Trick something. It's another name for it, but women can only get it from a man. So, man, take care of yourself. If you got a turtleneck, you know what I'm saying, clean yourself properly. Yeah, clean yourself properly. Because if you're not, you got
holding bacteria, bro.
You're holding bacteria. You got that turtle lint under the hood.
Yeah.
We ain't trying to get too gross, but we just saying, man, you gotta take care of yourself.
The more you groom yourself, like we really, like men, we are getting better at this in this day and age. I'm seeing that. Men, you need to groom yourself, not just down there, but overall. Like keeping yourself groomed in the face, your
taking
hair.
care of your beard.
Yeah, taking care of your beard because that holds bacteria as well. Like
going to the dentist.
Like going to your, getting in shape. You feel me? Taking care of yourself, just grooming your body to be well presented. You want to be an outstanding gentleman, the best version of yourself that you possibly can be. Grooming is a part of that. Hey, be the man you want to be by being the man you know you need to be groom yourself. Jam.
No, for sure. So, why is it important for man to find their spiritual anchor?
Man, bro, this is like something real. In the spiritual world, it's majority women. You know, a lot of spiritual work goes through women. In cultural days, like the ancestors, the women dealt with all that stuff, right? Because we were out there, the hunter-gatherers, and the women gave us vision and everything like that. We handled and we did the work behind it. That's why those cultures was thriving. So nowadays, a lot of men aren't in touch with themselves. Knowing thyself is knowing your spirit self. You know, you need to understand why you react the way that you do the things, understanding who you are, whether it be you learning through astrology, through a religion, scientists, whatever it may be. You need to find out who you are outside of this vessel. You know, who you pray to, who you talk to. I don't care what you call it. You know, whatever it is, you know, you have to be in touch with that. Because if you don't have that anchor, that you are more than likely to jump off the edge and want to think about committing suicide. You know, I got into my spirituality when I think I was in college. You know, I kind of always dibble-dabble in high school because I read horoscope stuff like that. Oh, I'm Aquarius and stuff like this. So, but I really got into studying myself because I was into the church. I grew up into the church. But, for me, the church wasn't the route for me. You know, I tell you, hey, if you follow the word of the book, hey, do it because it's great messages in it. You know, I see it working for people amazingly, right? My spiritual side, where I dabble in more. The more I've grown into studying it, the more I'm aware of myself. Having a spiritual anchor allows you to be more aware of who you are, what your energy is with other people, understanding people when they come around you, how you're attracting people into your life, how I know you. So it's about, because you into the spiritual world as well. So it's like when you understand how you are spiritually, you start to understand why people are around you. You start to understand why you're on these lessons in life. So like that, you see the bigger picture, right? So you have to have that spiritual anchor. And when you're around women that are open to sharing and helping you go deep into your spirituality, and, you know, it helps you, it brings you out to become a different person. Like I always preach this thing, I say, man, be your best mental, physical, spiritual, and emotional self. You got to attack that spiritual world. You got to find out who you are on the inside. That's going to help you with your emotions as well. We talked about a book that I just copped, the Tower of Sexology. So
for y'all that don't know, that's an expensive book. Like you're not going
antiquish.
Yeah, it's antiquish. You're not gonna find that book for less than like $200.
Yeah, $250. I got lucky finding mine for $220. But
is it a really thick book?
Nah, it's only like 200 some pages. But the reason why it's so expensive right now because it's no longer in print. Okay. So this is like a book that's like if they burn all of these, you'll never see this book again. You know, because it's not allowed to be printed. Printed again, and you can't make audio books of it. There are no audio books of it.
Digital version.
No, you're not supposed to have any of that. So if somebody did it illegally, yeah, but it's not supposed to have any of that. So this is almost like the Book of Eli, almost. I'm just saying. But this is also one of the books that a lot of people in the spiritual world start off with. So it's so when I copped it, I had to get it because I don't believe people bring up books around me for no reason. So when my client, she was like, yeah. I gave my cousin this book. This book worth $500. I'm like, what? So I looked it up. I'm like, damn, that book $220 right there, the cheapest. And I was like, I seek knowledge. Like I gotta know. One thing about me, I gotta know something, right? And when I'm into something, I need to know it to be the best. You know, that's why I'm so great at my craft with fitness. And I'm really big into my spiritual life. And I wanted to be more open with it now. So I was like, I need to study it real hard. Just as much as I know myself, my fitness, my body, I need to tap into my spirit world extremely big time right now. So I purchased the book. Got the book for $220. It's an interesting book. It shows you how to transmute energy, right? So I was big on transmutation of energy years ago, but I was like, man, how can I really do this? This one goes, and the book, Think and Grow Rich, how they talk about.
They talk about
transmutation of energy, but also using sexual transmutation with your energy. And so this book shows you, as for men and women, of how you utilize sexuality. It doesn't have to be just like Pornhub or be seen as something vulgar or whatnot. you can actually learn how to utilize your energy, your sexual energy, to control ejaculation, whether it be for pleasure or controlling that energy, how you can transmute it into something else that you want to put into, right? And so it's real interesting. So I'm like taking some time. I'm gonna get back into the book probably after my challenge starts. Sign up. It's start March 1st. But I want to get more, like really spend some time with it and really study it and actually practice it. Because a lot of times people read stuff, study it, but you got to put it into practice. That's not the way you learn. You know?
I think one of the things I was looking into was like semen retention.
Yeah, that's a big one. Like, yeah, bro, hey, bro, like I practiced that when I was reading the Think and Grow Rich book, and that's when I actually started studying on transmutation of energy. I was trying to dive in it, but somehow I fell off. But that one, yeah, bro, you can manifest some stuff with that.
No, for sure. And I think, like you said, finding your spiritual anchor, finding yourself is extremely important. I was listening to a podcast, what's it called? Serendipity. Yeah, with Inky Johnson.
Yeah.
And he was talking on there. He had a thing, and he was saying, make sure you take care. He was like, you know what I'm saying, make sure you take care of the things that, you know what I'm saying, you can't buy. You know what I'm saying? Because he was like, it didn't matter if, you know what I'm saying, before he lost, you know what I'm saying, he was paralyzed in the arm and hand. It didn't matter that he benched 3 something, you know what I'm saying? It don't matter if you got a big house. It don't matter if you got the flyest car. It don't matter, because you're going to come through life and you're going to experience some things that money can't buy. He's like, when his wife got sick, it hurt him and crushed him as a man, because it's nothing he could have did to make it better. He can't buy her nothing. He can't, you know what I'm saying, go get something to fix it. Like, you know what I'm saying, you got to always make sure as a man you taking care of what money can't buy. And money can't buy your spirituality. It can't buy, you know what I'm saying, your health. It can't buy all, you know what I'm saying, your emotional state, your mental state. Like, you got to take care of these things, because that's what makes you, because I'm writing a book as well called The 4 U's, and it talks about spiritual health, mental health, emotional health, and physical health, because you need all 4 of those in order to like secure your happiness, in order to be whole. Because a lot of times we're off balance with a lot of those things, and we're wondering why, like, oh, it just seems like the world's falling apart around us, but it's just like something's off balance. Whether it's your physical health, you know what I'm saying, you're not eating right. Whether it's your emotional health, you can't control your emotions, you just everywhere. Mental health, you always get stressed and bogged down by whatever is going on. You don't have a spiritual anchor, so you need all those to balance up, just to, you know what I'm saying, be happy and to be solid in this type of environment, in this type of world.
Exactly. I totally agree with that.
Absolutely. So, you know what I'm saying, wise understanding and comprehension of knowing the difference between nagging and expression. Because I know we talked about in the last episode, I was at the end of it, you know what I'm saying, I got into kind of like a Derrick Jackson spiel kind of say, but it's some real thing to me, as far as like, man, we have the bad habit of making women feel like they're nagging, they're bitching, they tripping, or like they crazy. And I think it like is a lot of women that like says stuff to me, it's like, oh, you know I'm crazy, and it's just like, why are you feeling like that? But I'm knowing it's rooted from a man making you feel like that. So why is it important for man to understand the difference between women expressing themselves and them nagging?
So for me, I only can talk about my life. The difference for me is listening, right? So if a woman tells me something, she brings it to my attention, right? All right, cool. Now, a lot of women say, like, I don't have to tell you what I'm going to do. I just act on it, right? So it becomes nagging if I'm actually doing it. Just because I didn't tell you, I don't need to continuously hear it, right? So it's like, okay, also, if I tell a woman, all right, women be saying they're crazy. If I tell a woman, hey, I want to be polygamous, most of the time, women will hear that and be like, okay, he's just saying that. Now, is the woman taking him for what he's saying, or is how he acted? So if a man says this, like, this is what I do, is a lot of times be like, well, I told her what I was, but women say, well, no, you was giving me wifey vibes. What you mean? Because you want to cuddle, you want to be later, you want to do wifey stuff. You want me to cook for you and all this stuff. You want to go on dates and do all this stuff. You want to travel. Well, if a man likes that, but if I tell you what my intentions are you listening to my intentions, or are you just going off your emotions? Mostly women go off emotions because they're like, hey, I feel like you treating me like your wife, like your main lady. So we got to be going towards that, right? Not necessarily. if I tell you this is what I want, this is what I'm giving, you're not crazy, but I laid the ground rules. Why would you assume that it changed? Because I never said it changed. You feel that it has changed without coming to me and asking me about it. Now, that's not always the case. Because sometimes dudes might be like, hey, man, you my only one, but they be like, you're not my only one. You know, I've been in both sides, both of those shoes, you know, because I used to be bad when I said, oh, boy, I used to be bad. Woo, Lord, thank you for saving me. But no, you got to think, so it's not always on the man, but a lot of time it is. It's about the man, how he presents his intentions, right? So if a man says, hey, are we playing games, or are we playing the mental games, right? The mental games come as like, I'm going to do this because you made me mad, right? So it's like, nah, I'm going to just pick at you. Because sometimes there's a lot of them who really know how to communicate with a man. Talk to him about a situation, great, it's cool. They find solutions. You got to come to a point where you find solutions. When those solutions aren't being made, that's when the nagging stuff comes. Because why? Now we're going tit for tat. Now I'm going to do this because you're picking at me. Now, people do know sometimes women will poke you just to get a reaction out of you. You feel me? They will poke you. They
know how to hit it where it hurts, too.
They will poke you to get a reaction out because why? They go off emotions. They need to see us acting in an emotional way to know that we love them. It's the truth. If we don't show it, it's not like, bro, when I'm being nonchalant and a woman say something to me and I don't say nothing, they like, what's wrong? Like, what's going on? Another example. It was on Instagram. I know you had to see it. This dude went on a date with this girl. And she was like, you know what? I had a great time tonight, but I think we should just be friends. And the dude responded, I was thinking the same thing. She said, you're not supposed to say that. What?
Yeah, I did see
What
that.
are you talking about? I'm thinking, because we not giving her the emotional reaction that she so desired. Because she wanted to be like, oh, no, man, I was really feeling you. No, she wanted that emotion, so he didn't feed her emotional need right there. Because she was like, they're like, all right, cool. I was thinking the same thing. I had a good time, but overall, yeah, we should just be friends. And she's like, you're not supposed to say that. No, women say, you need to be, what's the word I always say? You need to show empathy. Showing empathy is us of being like, okay, I'm showing the emotions that, hey, no, like, I agree with you. But no, if we're just nonchalant, they're upset. We're not giving an emotional reaction. So it's only nagging when we have the disconnect, when we don't have no solutions. It's only nagging when no one knows where we're going, right? So if it's like, hey, but once we have the intentions, if the intentions never change, but your feelings and your emotions, we never have another conversation about it, then that's how nagging starts. But when you just like communicating, we understand where we at. You know, it may suck sometimes, it may hurt, but just where we at. And we have a disconnect of communication. That's why it's considered nagging. But you know, we men and women, bro, we be going at each other, bro. Hey, it ain't always on the women, it ain't always on the men. Men, sometimes we can mislead women. You know, women can definitely like try to manipulate the situation for their outcome. So it's like, you know.
No, for sure. And I think we're going to have you back for the next one. This the last episode of the season. We're going to have you back next episode because, like, I feel like this is a topic that can, like, really range. And it's just so much more I want to get to as far as, like, why men aren't as transparent and all that, because I know that has a lot to do with, again,
emotions, bro.
Yeah, emotions.
Transparency. Bro, all right, before we jump, I'm going to just say this. I used to have the belief that if I'm not with you, whatever I do is none of your business. You know, that was my mindset in all of my 20s. That's probably why I was in a lot of trouble with women too. Bro, like I'm like, okay, when I'm with you, you're my girl. That's the way it is. My attention is on you and only you. Don't bring up no other woman because like now you giving her attention that I'm giving to you. So since you do that, now she done took some of your time because you wanted to talk about her. So when I'm with her, she taking up that time too. So I'm not going to be talking about you. Like I used to always like, hey, if I'm talking to somebody, cool. Don't ask me about them because it's not your business. But as I got older, I was like, you know what? All right, it's just easy to be like, lead with, I don't want to do monogamy. You know, if you say that, you'd be like, what? All right, either they're going to stick around or they're not. But a lot of times people don't believe you. So it's like, it's best to just be like, hey.
Upfront and
just upfront with
and
it,
I think a lot of times just because like a lot of men are coming up where monogamy is the thing. And if you sit there and tell a woman like, hey, I want to be polygamous or like all that, she just thinks like, oh, you just want to, you know what I'm saying, fuck a whole bunch of hoes. So naturally a woman distances herself. So man's like, damn, I think a lot of men get in their head, well, like, if I'm sitting here telling her this, I ain't getting what I want.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of times, man, you sit there deceive to try to get what they want instead of just being upfront and just, again, knowing your worth.
Exactly.
Like, if she gonna leave you for telling you that, at least you kept it real and you know what I'm saying, you was 100 about
they'll
it.
probably
And
stay.
Yeah, some women, again, you never
put it down
know
on
what
her,
a woman
she'll
is going
stay.
to do. Because a lot of women sit there and say, well, if you would just been real, you never know what I would have been on, even though we know.
We know
That's
you
true. I
full of
hear that
BS.
one all the time. I hear that one.
Exactly.
We
So
know y'all lying.
why is self-love and taking care of your health, your mental health and all that, and your peace so important for a man?
Bro, if you want to have a good life, you got to take care of your peace. Bro, I'm going to tell you straight up. Like, and this, I'm only going off my life because I don't know what dudes go through. A lot of my stress, I will say, a lot of my stress and happiness both come from women. Straight up, bro. Straight up. My personality is I'm outgoing, interacting with people, right? I get around women. Women are so great at building you up, bro. Like they're like, I feel like a Superman, but they are great at tearing you down as well. And I'd be like, damn, most of my stress come from women. So what I learned, for me to have my peace, bro, I can't be in the club. I can't be in the streets, bro. I probably date a woman, I probably date someone seriously for a year or two. I'm like, okay, maybe date a couple people for a year or two. It's like, I don't need to be out with a whole bunch of chicks, like intimate with. Hey, cool hanging out and stuff like that, doing stuff with. But intimacy with them is like not the best because it's like, bro, they drain so much out of you. And my peace, I need time where I can just focus on me, working out, reading my books, meditating, eating well, prepping myself, and putting out the stuff I want to do into the world to build people up to get better mentally, physically, spiritually, emotionally through physical fitness. So for me, I can't deal with women too often, bro, because like it's a distraction from my peace. I can't lie. I love women to death. I love y'all. I do. But man, they will wreck my peace like crazy. And I know it's out of love, because they just love me. So
Yeah,
I
for sure,
understand.
for
They
sure.
just love me.
Man, like I said, I definitely got to have you back. So we got to definitely expand on it. I don't think an hour is, justified for this episode. We probably going to have to do another episode for women as
Part
well.
two.
But yeah, part 2 of this.
Get
But
gritty
man,
with it.
absolutely. Again, y'all check him out, man. He has a great program starting March 1st with Brianna. That's for men and women. They're going to take you 21 straight days through HIIT workouts that's going to help you get lean and trim right in time for the summer. And even if you ain't ready for summertime, hey, this is a great start to get ready for your summer body. So, you know what I'm saying? Do what you got to do. Check him out. He's the best trainer you can get in the Dallas area. Man, he has not only this with Brianna, you have still the wine and work with Mac as well.
Well, Mac, if you're out in Houston, Texas, make sure you check out the Wine and Work, and Maryland going to be coming up soon. So be sure to hop on the IG at bravo.fit. Check your boy out.
Absolutely. Go run and go do that. Again, I've been your host, Jesse the Truth, as well as my co-host.
Erica.
And this has been the Growth, Health, and Wellness Podcast. As always, peace, love, and happiness. We appreciate you. Until season 2. Peace.
Damn, baby.